Yes, you read the title. I got called for jury duty. I'm not trying to show my address, so I'm covering it. But you see, important jury summons enclosed. Jury duty. Okay, so let me stop being funny. Seriously, because jury duty is your civic duty first and foremost. So if you think you're never gonna do it ever, at some point in your life, you're gonna end up doing it. For me, it just happened that the first time I was selected the first day in the random ballot, and I'm part of the grand jury. So I'm not gonna go into too much details, but I just want to tell you so far like my experience. So actually, this is my first week. I have 4 weeks complete, which is a whole month, and we get one day off. Today happens to be my day off, so I'm here talking to you guys. But so well, the jury duty that I was gonna be doing was the one where you're in a trial jury, which is different from the grand jury. In the trial jury, you're actually sitting in the courtroom in the case, and you're listening to the case, and you have to basically say guilty or not guilty. But what I'm doing is I listen to the cases in the grand jury, and we choose if we want to dismiss the case or send the case to trial. So I'm just gonna basically talk through real quickly of what happened. So I went to the jury assembly room. Basically, the guy said how it's gonna work. You either speak to the judge or you pick a panel. I wasn't gonna even bother speaking to the judge because a lot of people were coming with excuses, and they were like, if you have some like miscellaneous excuses, they're not gonna excuse you. So I wasn't even gonna try that. Let me make up an excuse for them to say, oh no. So the judge was sitting there, and at some point he was just like, a lot of you guys are saying speak to the judge, but just know that I'm not going to allow excuses because jury duty is your civic duty, especially if you're an American citizen. You have no way around it. Even if you just happen to skip this time, they're gonna call you again. I don't know what you call that person. He had a box with our ballots of the part from our this paper that they took off with our information. So he randomly took it out, and he would call people's names. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, I think I'm not gonna get called. Maybe I escaped this time. And then after maybe I'd say 30 minutes of them calling names, they called me, and I was just like, panel whatever. I picked a panel because basically they had a panel A to F, so you pick one of those panels, whichever best suits you. I kind of just wanted to get it over with, so I picked panel A was gone. That's what I wanted to do that one because it finished earlier, and it would have finished before my birthday came. That's what I was thinking about, but I'm not really doing anything for my birthday, so chose my panel, sat there, and then people went to the judge, yada yada yada, and he didn't excuse some of them, and they had to pick a panel, and they were upset, but they didn't have a choice. He was like, you gotta pick a panel. So fast forward to now. So like yesterday I went, so let's just give you the pros and the cons. First of all, we'll get our own kitchen area. I guess that's great. And the room, so it's like, and we share the room with just our panel, nobody else but just our panel, which is cool. And you have your own seat, and the officer said that that's the seat you keep, so nobody has that thing like, well, I was sitting here yesterday, just keep the seat you're in, that's it. So that's good. And the cons though, yesterday I wasn't even feeling well yesterday. So I'm sitting there, and we're there from 9 a.m. to 5. They said basically you have to stay till business day unless they should just so happen to not have a case for you. But most likely you're going to stay there till 4:30, and sometimes after 5, he said, depending on what the case is. So we sat there. I got there about 9:05 because I got there like 8:50. But I'm like thinking, oh, I'm late. I'm walking the thing because I also saw the girl I remember she was in my panel. So I'm like, I'm not that late. There's a thing to sign my name. Got into the panel room. Crickets. It's quiet, and there's probably like literally 5 to 6 people out of the 23 of us that was supposed to be there. So I'm like, here I am thinking I'm late. So I just take a seat, sitting there on my phone, yada yada. An hour passed by. It's now 10. Nobody shows up. I believe around like 10:30 or so, the officer finally shows up. Oh, he's like, okay, you're supposed to report at 9 o'clock. I'm like, well, we didn't start at 9 o'clock. I digress. And so he was like, you have to be here at 9 o'clock every day, because the cases and stuff like that, right? So then he just went through the whole process of what we have to do, and how the whole jury duty process for grand jury, that is. So he did all of that, gave us a lunch break. We came back. We sat there, and he said he'll be back by that time, or that was our assumption at least, because everybody came back at the time he told us to come back. We sat there again, guys, for another hour and a half. Nothing yet. He finally comes in. He's like, well, I went. Sorry, there hasn't been any cases. So basically, that's the con. So you're sometimes, and especially because right now it's during the time of holiday season, because New Year's Eve's coming, which is my birthday, and then you have Christmas, and then New Year's Day, all that stuff. There may be less cases, but we don't know. That's just for this week. Next week we could be piled with cases. So he was like, yeah, I haven't seen any cases yet. But then finally, like maybe 5 minutes after he said that, someone came in with the case, and then we had a case. Hooray. So that was just me kind of telling you the pros and cons. So that's the cons. You can just be sitting there for hours, but because you have to be there till business day time, just sit there. So I learned my lesson. I'm bringing a book to read and entertain myself, because I basically will be sitting there some days doing nothing, and that's, I guess, just the part of it. So far the experience hasn't been bad. I kind of was expecting it to be something else, like I said, us saying guilty, not guilty, but it wasn't. So I guess that's the great part about it, I guess. That's all I have to say. Bye, guys.